Hello, I'm Rick Sanders. For those of you who don't know me, um, I'm 59. I live in Sandy Spring, Maryland, in an assisted living called Brook Grove. I've been in about 7 of them, and they do a wonderful job here. I want to highly recommend them. I don't mind putting that little plug in there. This short story is not about me. Um, I'm still taking medications to help me through the worst of the Parkinson during the day. I get a few hours here and there of peaceful physical strength and ability, like it's pretty much now. So where I lived in before was in Frederick. A couple months ago on back for about 3 years. I don't want to say the name of the place because, frankly, I couldn't be very complimentary of them in a number of respects. So I'll just spare that. But there was a lady named Pat Miller who moved in, I'd say, a couple months before the experience. I'll tell you, the experience was in early March. She might have moved in the turn of the year or so. She was in great pain. She cried a lot at night out for help, and during the day it was hard to endure. Not only the noise, of course, but the pain you feel as somebody goes through pain. It was like relentless for her. She had ulcerated wounds on her leg, many that weren't healing, and on her feet. She wore these big boots that you'll see if the picture's not up yet. When it does, you'll see the big foam boots she had to wear just to cushion her feet. So my heart kind of went out for her, and I wanted to help what I could. I had this Kangen SD501 machine. This is the Rolls-Royce of the industry. This, in terms of the ionized, restructured, alkalized water generators that are out there, this is the one that really does the job. It gets consistent output. We'll go into that more in a minute. But I'll tell you about Pat. It was about March 4th, I think, that I brought her the first couple glasses in the morning, and I bring her 2 or 3 glasses every afternoon. And that went on for the first 2 days, and frankly I noticed the management of the place being less and less okay with the Kangen water going around the house. I was giving it to a number of the residents that would be willing to drink it, and they had to use the facilities, to be frank, more often. And it would upset the people. They wouldn't report to me that there were perhaps some loose stools, to be quite frank, and they had to clean that stuff up. Not pleasant, but had they told me, I would have pulled back the potency a little bit. But they didn't, and so when we got to the end of Pam's story, they pretty much nixed the use of it in the house. Sad. It was doing so much good. But this is a happy point. This is a neat story. Pat took the water. As I said, the first 2 days, after 2 days, I asked her how she was doing, and her feet, she said, were having more feeling on the right, I think it was the right foot, and able to wiggle her toes more than usual. Wow, I would have been impressed at that, and happy to see her experience. But by the middle of the week, about the 4th day, I come downstairs, and where is she? She's in the living room, comfortable in a wheelchair. She hadn't been comfortable in a wheelchair since she had her operation. And I'm sure she got help out of the bed to get in the wheelchair, but she did it, and she was happily reading. It was a big blessing for her. Now, it got real interesting after the 7th day. It was just a week on this water. She had maneuvered herself up on her sitting position on the side of her bed, eating her breakfast by herself. She wasn't always able to do that. Do you know how long Ms. Pat Miller had been since the hospital trip where she had those operations? How long she'd been in bed? I found out all 7 months before she got there. She had been bedridden completely. Wow. This was this really, I knew that Kangen water was some potent stuff, powerful material, but to see it firsthand, do something almost just mind-blowing, I just like to share that with the world, because there are a lot of people who are suffering with things that when this water finally gets to you, and it will, in the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to be known throughout the United States. Not 1 out of 16,000 people will hear, like it is now, or that is to say, know something about it. But in Japan, where they're number 1 in longevity in healthcare, rated by the United Nations, they're number 1. And they pioneered this type of equipment, this electrolysis, continuous electrolysis water generation in the home. They pioneered it. Okay, Josie. This is Josie. What's been happening with Kangen water?
Yeah, my name is Jocelyn. They call me Josie. And I started drinking alkaline water, Kangen water, since like 6 weeks. But I get good result. And my stomach was big, but now my stomach become lightly flatter. And the blood sugar going down. And blood pressure also.
How much is your blood sugar now?
My blood sugar now is about like 87 sometime, 90, 103,
It used to
and
be what?
104, 180, 160, but it used to be big. It used to be big number, like 200 something.
That's great.
Now, but I still get medication, but I don't want to leave the medication. But when I take the medication with it, it's going down. But it's really Kangen water really good, and I like to continue to drink it. And
Okay.
that's one day, and then I don't need to be on no medication anymore.
All right. How
Yeah.
much did your blood pressure go down?
Blood pressure going down 120, 114, 120, 114
From what?
over 67, over 64.
Okay. And what did it
But
come
it's
down
just-
from? How much did it
Yeah,
used to
that's
be?
why he's coming down. It used to be 144 over 80, over 70. Now it's going down to 160. No. I mean 117, 114, over 69, over 60. But it's going down.
Okay, Josie. Great. How many weeks have you been drinking Kangen water?
It's about 6 weeks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, thank you for telling us. We'll look forward to hearing more of your great story.
Okay.
All right.
But now I'm sleepy.
You can push that red
I
button.
just forgot everything because I just came
It's
from
all
work. I'm
right.
so sleepy. Next time
Push the
I'll
red
do
button.
better, okay?
No problem.